Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday morning. How's everyone doing? Unemployment Thursday. Good morning, Patrick. Let me see if I can click the button. There we go. Am I still? There we go. Sometimes I forget to even look if I'm on camera or not. That's why I'm down here in the corner so people don't have to look at me. Good morning, Sterling. There we go. Initial jobless claims 231, forecast 212. So that came in higher. I mean, but continuing jobless claims came in roughly a line. Market sort of reacted short term off that number because, more jobless claims. We're going to get our rate cuts. We need some rate cuts. We need to. Oh boy. Oh well. Yeah, there's your continued jobless claims. McRangers, good morning. What else do we have? Yep. We had the Bank of England, Bailey, talking this morning. Cut rates more than currently priced in. They're gonna definitely they paused, but definitely a very dovish stance, in my opinion. Good morning, Martinez. Where else do we sit? Good morning, Heinrich. Let's get to all the good morning. Good morning, Richard. Are you surprised there's not more volume on MBT? No, not really. Not really at this point. What is it? Tesla's energy business is giving. Where'd that come from? All right. Yeah, no, really. Really? Binance expectedly allowed market? Really? I'm shocked. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, John. Good morning, Anissa. Thank you for tuning in. I'm having trouble with the clicky this morning. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Eric. All right. Good morning to people in the background hiding out. Remember, could you like the video? Even if you don't like it, could you like it to get us? I mean, where the viewership was climbing again. The viewership was climbing. This is actually a boring week. Not a lot going on. So far, just a sideways correction. But that actually gives me more time to do some little teaching with what I see. So today, we had the initial continuing jobs claims. We got 4-week and 8-week bill auctions. We got mortgage rate stuff, and we got daily speaking this afternoon. And then tomorrow morning we got Bowman speaking in consumer sentiment, and not again very quiet. S&P software application software stuff is down for most part, but you know what? It's pretty much quiet to slightly up this morning. So that's where that sits. Groups. Let me do a quick refresh. We're at real estate, basic materials, energy are up the most. Financial, just a slight pullback in there, but again, very quiet morning. Fed watch. The Fed watch tool still has the market participants looking for a first cut in September. Although, I mean, it's only 40, it's not even above 50% yet. So, and I want to know who is a double cut priced in. Fear and greed, still in fear mode. Are we going to pop to neutral before we roll over again? That's the big question we have. Speaking of rollover, we got Roblox. Roblox this morning. Roblox, I don't know if anybody trades it, but that had some really nice patterns. We can take a quick look at that too if you remind me. If somebody reminds me after the close, again, not much. Not much. Nothing's going to market move or move the markets. And then tomorrow, nothing. I mean, it's besides the companies that are reporting, it's not going to really change anything with the market trajectory. So overall, a quiet week on all fronts, and we've almost wrapped it up. That being said, hey, Pavneet, will the market ever go down? Yes, at some point, but why do you want the market to go down? It's still in short to medium term bullish mode. It'll go down at some point. Good morning, Legion Reaver. All right, so just wanted to recap something from yesterday. Just a quick recap. So we had the morning, the pullback here on the open. the little pullback between, just want to show you something. This is why you don't have to get nuts with your setups. Little pullback to 62.5, not down to, remember we had a double bottom in the NASDAQ. This pulled back and never closed below the 62.5. So that means you don't have targets. So my first target area is between the 50 and the 62.5. So I had retracements on here from the highs from the European opening times to the lows. All right. And you got that little pullback. Then it launched up with some momentum, became to 50 to 62.5. So you got the 50 to 62.5 retracement, the breakout move higher. The first significant target area I watch is a retracement of 50 to 62.5 the other way, which we got. Then you got to close above the 62.5. What does that, again? So you can start looking at the 87.5 right here, bounced off it, and I mean the 75, and then the close into the 87.5 area. What did that do? Formed a double top. You see it right here. Okay. Well, does that mean short? Not from my perspective. That means, all right, end of morning, going into lunchtime. If that triggers, well, is there a need to be long anymore? No. We've hit the 87.5. We formed a double top. Let it be done. You don't have to, again, you're looking to take a chunk out of the markets from my perspective. You're not looking to trade every move. Please don't try to trade every move. Every move, you're not, the more you trade, the more exposure you have. You wait for the good setups. Then where did it pull back to? So if I flip the thing from the morning lows to the morning highs, we get the pullback, the lunchtime pullback, multiple dips between the 50 and the 62.5. And then, if you're looking, see, I thought, again, if you need to keep trading something, I watch for the afternoon breakouts. And then it rallied back up. Afternoon breakouts. So, and then it just, why bother with anything else? My perspective only. Just wanted to review that. Now, what did that do overall? Overall, what is this? We still cycles at the top. We are still near overbought, and this is a so far sideways move. The key level for me is right about this 52.15, 52.16. Gonna watch if we really pop through here. 52.15. Pop through there. It's just a quick trip to the highs from yesterday. Coming to about 52.26.75, and then what's right above that? The 75% harmonic, the 52.41 level we've been talking about. So if we can get some momentum, doesn't have to be a momentum day. I mean overall just market push higher. Because again, no real information. I'm still watching that 52.41. Then if it continues, and look at the channel coming right in there, you know, that could hit by this afternoon, evening if it just pushes, grinds higher, but it's got to get through there. Key support right now, again, you got, from my perspective, analyze both sides of the market. If we start dropping below 51.95, which has been the really strong short-term support area, and would also be below the 4-hour rotation zone, then I'm going back to my significant target area is about 51.62 area. Hope that helps. Could you tell me if anybody or a lot of people, if you find this useful? A, the recap I did yesterday. B, how I'm trying to come up with trying to show you even more how I do my levels. And why things like the upward channel with that 75 is now a very strong resistance area on a push up. Back to the bigger picture. Again, we have the separating rotation zone. So you don't trade the crosses, but remember it went to bearish mode. We went to neutral mode. We closed above the 62.5, which takes it short-term bullish mode because we got the magnet prices higher. and we got the confirming rotation zone. So the two key areas, even just watching this, let me try to fine tune this a bit. Because if you came back, even dropping to about that 51.67, I mentioned 51.62, I'd say, and I said an area, I'd say 51.67 to 51.62 would be my major support at this point. All right. So you like to hear, all right, that's some feedback. Mark likes to hear it. Great perspective. Y levels, good discussion. All right, super useful. Thank you, Ted. Hey, Ted, how are you doing, buddy? May marks 2 years following this team. Every day helpful. You were, well, 2 years. Has it? Okay, excellent summary. Brought some clarity for sure. Thanks for the intraday example. I'm just trying to show people that you don't have to get overly complex. You don't have to keep it simple and don't try to catch every move. Even if you're just an intraday trader, you're not going to capture everyday move. Again, don't try to pick up every penny in the street. Wait for that $100 bill or that $20 bill sitting there. You bend over to pick up the 20s. You don't bend over to pick up the pennies. And some days you shouldn't even bend over at all. Okay, maybe that should be part of the trading course. Some days you don't bend over at all module. Oh, that's pretty funny. Sorry, I know I've got a weird sense of humor. By the way, intermediate level before the 87.5 is 52.65 roughly. We had some emotional rejection of that level. Before that was a very key close back on the 26th of March before the push higher that made the mini double. And you see all the price rejection from right around that area, the 52.65 area. So if it got through to 75, I would not be pushing for the 87.5 yet. My intermediate level would be 52.65. By the way, SPX, the cash S&P, double top territory. You see so the cash is in double top on the S&P and the Nasdaq. Look at this nice reaction at the 75. That really nice reaction. But they are both in double top along with our spiders and our cubes, or Qs, whatever you want to call it. I'm still used to calling it the cubes. All right, Nasdaq. Let's get back to this. So the futures in the S&P and Nasdaq futures have not officially gotten to double top territory, but the cash has, and the spideys and the Qs. All right, Nasdaq magnet price 18,310 still. The very key area. All right, you can see here the strong resistance area. Strong support area. Right around here from before the sell-off, becoming a strong resistance area. We start getting above this 18.2, 18.266, 18.310. Above 18.310, there actually isn't much until the 87.5, that 18.5 area. The intermediate level, if I had to choose one, would be 18,390, 18,385 to 18,390. Very key support. Keep an eye on yesterday's lows. If you want a front run warning, if we start breaking below 18,100, that's a little warning before you get to 1872.50. If we get below there, my next key support is back to 18K. Remember, we're still at cycle top, close to overbought. I'm really watching to see if this thing can take out that 75 before we start to roll over. And remember, CPI and PPI next week. Dow, if you're looking for the continued run in the Dow, remember, look how well things. If you force me to take everything off the charts, the one thing I would really want and wouldn't want to calculate it by hand is the harmonics. The 39,272 area. Look how well that lines up with the prior. You sold off. Little bounce here. You see, look at that. And that's before this was there, but I'm going back in history, seeing how things line up. So that's why that leveled, not just because it's 62.5, but look at the prior bounce, and then the next rollover plays right there too. So you get a close above that level. You're also closing because this was a down close, and then the sell-off. So that would be a higher close than all this little corrective bounce right there. You can learn a lot just from looking at price action and then throwing the harmonics on there. So that's still key on the Dow, 39,272 on the closing basis. Right now, the key support's coming in at 38.9. The Russell, little pullback here. Watching this with the opening today. Watching that right there. Already came up. So if we rotate back up, the key targets are 20.75 and 20.78 roughly. The key support, this is where I'll pay very close attention to the Russell at 20.55, because if you break down, if we cannot get past that first target and then you break down, you've invalidated the little mini double, and then I'd watch for the bigger pullback in the Russell. And a very key area to me is right about 20.47. The VIX, no fear, just grinding lower. Now this will start picking up again, probably early probably on Monday, with heading into some of the key numbers. The DAX, there we go. Then this is a perfect example of a sideways correction, the rotation zone catching up, and then the breakout. So there you go. Which means I'm just going to flip this around to the other side, because I really think we're going to, again, retest that 18,840 area. And then if you break through 18,993, 19,147, a trade above 19,147 invalidates the potential double, which is off. Why is that off? There we go. Why do I vote? What is going on? I'm going to redraw it because something weird's happening. There you go. Potential double. Other than that, your very key support is 18,680 to 18,700. Notes. Interesting, we have a lopsided double, which on the 4-hour basis has officially triggered. So I'm keeping an eye on that. The invalidation point for that is a close back above on the 4-hour basis, 109.02.5, or a trade through 109.05. So keeping a little eye on that, and it was against the minorly separated rotation zone on the daily. The yield, again, still holding the rotation zone, still holding a very key support level, trying to rotate back up. Here's your daily, holding the channel. So I'm really watching for this to start getting into more significant next week. Not much looking at that right now. Dollar index, still not much. Has the double top, which hit the first and second targets, been invalidated? No, it's pulled back to between the 50 and the 62.5 from that low move down. But a close above 105.42.5 takes the final target off the table. Crude got that little bounce after the EIA numbers, but remember, I was looking for a little bounce only. Now we're going to watch to see how it reacts in this area and see if we get a stronger bottoming pattern setting up. But we've had the little bounce, and that's about it. Nothing to talk about with natty gas besides the little mini doubles off the table. Gold, Still nothing to talk about this. This will get some more volatility going into next week. Copper, the potential double is not triggered yet. And look, we're now the official rotation zone. If it were to trigger on the daily, would be out of the way. And the full target would be also back to the 50 EMA. What else? McRae, the how-tos and whys are always useful no matter where you are in your trading journey. Thank you. You're welcome, McRangers. And again, thank you for becoming a regular. What else do we have? Eye opener, harmonics, 50 to 62.5. 4-hour chart also changed everything for me. Levels, direction, short term. I'm really glad, Heinrich. I'm really glad. I look forward to if there's anything that helps anybody, even if it's one little thing you've taken away from this, and will help you on your trading or investment journey. That's the point of this. Russell has been trading in a weekly horizontal channel since April 22. Is this trading upper channel line right now? If it breaks out, where would you set targets? Then we'll look at some other stuff. Why am I on indicators? You want the E-mini Russells? Here we go. On the weekly basis, I mean, where would I set targets if it breaks above what? Above since April 2022. If it breaks above, if it can sustain above here, targets become pretty easy for me off this. If it breaks out, key target area 2234 to 2262 would be my key target area. But what, do you see how I drew this line over here? Do you see why I chose this? You had all these dips below, but could not really get a close below there, then took off the upside. And then look, it tested. And when you start watching for support resistance tests, you can see poke through levels. We'll call them poke through levels, but watch where it closes. You see how it poked through on this bar right here and then closed, okay? And then look, it broke below it and closed, and that's really the shift. That's the rollover shift. And then it lines up with a harmonic. Now, if you do the same thing starting up here, there's a little ledge up here until it closed, and then you got the massive candle up that set up this. So this again, I'd probably just use this 2232 as a target. Then I go to the 2273 to 2295 area would be my next, and I'd fine tune that using shorter term stuff because you got a high here, you got that bounce high there rejected, you got a key close there. You got the close just above that ignited the emotional candle up, but then it dropped back. So those would be the two key levels. That's how I would be looking if the Russell. Now the Russell, I'm not thinking it's going to break out. But if it were, those would be the levels I'd use. How do I figure an invalidation level? I use harmonics. I use the bottom of a rotation zone for bulls. Top of the rotation zone for bear stuff, and I use prior price actions of significance. I just showed you how I find some significant levels. If we close beyond those significant levels, or if we trade through a key harmonic level, that's how I use validation points. Now, if you want to know for doubles, the invalidation point is a close beyond the 62.5 or a trade through to 75. That's the official invalidation point. By the way, yen, the good old yenster, where is it? We had the yen intervention. Now it's grinded higher. It's getting close to 50 to 62.5 area. So keep an eye on that. This is entering a very key area because if it stalls out and rolls over, then I'm thinking we have a short to medium term top in. If it closes back above 157.10. Oh boy, the Bank of Japan better watch out. The spiders. Again, 517.40. We're almost in the open. Hope you don't mind me running a little longer. 517.40. The next major target area I would not ignore on an intraday basis, 519.50. Here's that level. You see we had a gap down, filling the gap, and this was the key close. This was also a key close back from the third. You see this was a key close on the upside, a key close. Why is this such a key close? Because you had the gap down. So an intermediate level, 519.30 area. Then you get 520.77. All right. Key support is now yesterday's low. If you get below yesterday's low, then you have the quick potential trip to the open from Monday the 6th. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had a little allergy. To the key support at 513.08. Other than that, still watching for that magnet price of the 520.77 area. The Qs going to be needing to really start getting through 441 to 441.10 with some sustained intraday levels. Other than that, yesterday's low is also very key for the Qs. I'm sorry, yesterday's open is very key, but there's only a few cents between the open and the low. So that area is very, very key. Bitcoin, not much to talk about. Still, we triggered the pattern, but not much to talk about with that. Tesla, not much to talk about with this, besides filling the gap. You still have another gap fill, by the way, down to, I'm still watching for the bigger rollover pattern. So any bounces to me, I'm looking for shorter term rollover plays. This other gap fill, 168.29. NVIDIA, we had that double. If this rotates back up again to 916, the little, and this is getting extended to the right-hand side. So it's pretty much off the table now. I'll still watch if it breaks down below 890. Adding a bend over metric to my risk analysis this morning. Well, you're welcome. There everybody's free to use the bend over. The the bend over. CNN, grocery prices are up 30%. That's real day-to-day pain that people feel, but they have money to spend. I'm sorry, he's out of touch. All right. Everybody should know here, unless you're a new viewer, I'm a libertarian. All right? I want the government out of, there should only be basics that the government is in. But so many of these politicians on both sides are completely out of touch, and I'm sorry, can't we do better? On any side, do we need people in their late 70s to early 80s running this country? We can't do any better than that. Really? And I'm talking on both sides. I'm talking across the board. We can't do any better? No, obviously not. All right, let's see how the S&P opened. Because it's a clown show. Again, look at this price this key price reaction, that is really, this is a key reaction level. Look at every time it's gotten into this area. It's just been sold recently. Got a very big ceiling. So that's the momentum ignition area to the upside. You start really getting above this 52.15. It needs to start sustaining. And when I say sustaining, get some key closes, retest that and turn it into support. Because look, if I bump this level up a little, look at this based off the short-term charts. You see this? Look, poked above it, and here's what you see how it poked above back on Wednesday and could not sustain it. Look, we poked above, could not sustain and move back up, and then it became resistance again. Poked above, there was no even attempt to even close above there. No attempt to close above there. No attempt this morning to close above there. If we get a close, really a close above there, and this starts turning into support where you see some retests, that's the key thing I'd be watching for intraday for the bull case. Let's see where the tick opened. I don't know what I'm doing. Not a strong tick opening. Not a weak one, but again, this is just a putz around day so far. On any tick back, on any tick pulling back towards 0 or minus 400. First 0 I'll keep an eye on, but then it's around minus 400. Then I'm going to watch to see where the support levels come in here, because we got a very strong support base, and this is for the short-term traders. You got a very strong support base off about 52.08. Now, if this were to break below 52.08, retest and roll over, that would be for me watching to about 5200 to 5202 for the support base. If the tick on any pullback can sustain and start moving higher, stair-stepping higher, it's this 52.15 area, 52.15 and a half that we have to break above and successfully retest or get a strong momentum bar above there. That's for your short-term traders. If you're only a longer-term, mid to longer-term trader, you don't need to worry about that. Worry about the bigger picture. All right. The right kind of libertarian. Yeah. I don't even like seeing 80-year-olds driving cars, much less driving countries. I agree. And I'm going to pick on all sides because we got to be able to do better than this, people. But you know what? And if you think government's going to save you, government's not going to save you for anything. What has the government ever improved? I'm talking, you know what? What's the government improved for the most part? When you start it, now certain people have slashed government, and fine. I'll support anyone that wants to downsize the government and get it out of our hair. I don't care what side you're on, but you know what? If you're for more protections, bigger government, like the FISA courts, really, we gotta destroy the Constitution because we gotta spy illegally on Americans. We got to still take off our friggin' shoes in the airport? Really? Really? It's not. It's just this illusion of safety. It's not safety. It's people wanting an illusion. People would rather live in a fantasy world. All right. With that, we got Friday, end of the week tomorrow. S&P still sticking in this morning in this tight range. We really don't have much more coming out today. So, one of the dogs is barking in the backyard, so I'm going to have to go deal with that. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thursday. I will see you all back in tomorrow for Fabulous Friday. Fabulous Friday tomorrow, and then next week's going to be lots of fun. Next week, we got some key numbers coming out, so really enjoy some quiet before the potential storm. Wait, I got to look at AMC. Government is not going to save you. Yes, it's not. And if you're looking that it's going to save you, I'm sorry. Oh, boy. This is just vertical up, vertical down. Why are people still bothering with AMC? Why? Ranting Mike is the best Mike. We are here for Ranting Mike. You're welcome, Mark. You're welcome, Ted. Good day, everyone. Again, like the video if you haven't already on the way out. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. More so for the technical analysis than the rants. The rants can be some icing on the cake. I'll talk to everyone tomorrow. Bye for now.